Welcome back to my Pokemon Black walkthrough. I'm your host, DeoGenZ, and sorry about the hiatus, guys. After a rolling account of events, life never really stops getting at you. So I finally have some free time, and with lesser walkthroughs to do, I can get back to Pokemon Black, and also Crystal too. So in the last episode, which was long ago, so allow me to recap, we took down the leader of the Castelia City Gym, Berg, the bug-type user. We burned him down with our Fire Monk, our Simisear, and it was no problem. I believe it was a very short episode. But as we exited the gym, we got a ring on the cross transceiver, and Bianca wanted to meet up for a battle. So her is gonna come out and will be no match for my Timber. Now, as funny as this may seem, believe it or not, one of the big reasons I paused the Black walkthrough was to go out and find a way that I could evolve my Timber when it evolves into a Girder, which is its next stage of evolution. Ooh, spoiler alert. How I can evolve it into its final stage, the concrete pillar-wielding Conkeldurr. But the only way to do that is through trading. And if you haven't seen how I capture my DS footage in perfect crystal clear quality video, then you can check that out on my main channel, and it's done through an emulator. So I don't know how I'm going to trade using an emulator to have my Girder, when it gets there, evolve into Conkeldurr. So if anybody has had experience with evolving Pokemon with emulators, give me a PM. So now Muna. I remember Muna from the White walkthrough had failed us on our team, and it was about here too. It was about at Castelia City where we parted ways. Back then it was Hiyun City, and now you know why. It's so weak, so pathetic. Now my main problem was it really didn't learn many offensive moves. But there is a Pokemon that we're going to catch up ahead. And I won't spoil it because I don't know if we're going to find it. But hopefully we do. Okay, and now that Pignite will be no problem. Your speed can rise as much as you want. But yawning has a way of spreading to people, leading on to quite the tired little piggy. Go ahead, go to Nine-Nights. Yes, you get your speed boost, and then you go to sleep. Yes, okay. Oh, Pignite, you're pathetic. You're going to be slashed by my sword of watery shells. I think I'm going to make this stand right here, guys, because I really like Duat, and I might call him by a different name in the future. I might give him a nickname because I'm starting to move into the English names a lot better. I've already beaten my own Black game on the cartridge, and now it's just a matter of finishing the walkthrough for you guys that I have to do. So I'm getting to know the English names a lot better, but one thing I realized is that I kind of like Duat compared to its last evolution, which, as funny as it is saying that I know the English names now, I don't know his final evolution off the top of my head. But I like how he has that samurai stance. And man, Bianca was a breeze. Not surprising. That's kind of what happens when you get the short end of the stick and you choose the Pokemon that's weak to your opponent, your rival. But luckily in Bianca's case, I don't know if she ever ventured out there to fight Charon. She'll be stronger against him. Pignite can bash on through to that snide serpent, Snivy, or Servine, who knows, it might have evolved by now. But I'm thinking of keeping my Duat at that stage. I'm thinking of just giving him an Everstone and letting him stay in his samurai, awesome razor shell stance. Really, I don't think I have anything to gain from it, probably just lose. I suppose he'll learn moves faster, some more stronger moves that he would have to otherwise wait a bit longer if he was his final evolution. But I'm not too crazy on that. I really I enjoy evolution. That's one of my favorite things to do in Pokemon. But for Duat, I think I'll be keeping him as a samurai. So post in the comments section below on what you think about that idea, guys. I think it'll be kind of funny if I have sort of the defective, strung together team that went to the Elite Four in the end. Let's see, can you sustain the blow? Yes! Now use Rock Throw! No! Damn it. But I think it would be funny if we had a ragtag team of pre-evolved and non-evolution Pokemon that went to the Elite Four, just because it's something I've never done before. And for each of my walkthroughs, I like to do something cool and signature, and that doesn't just include the borders, music, and commentary that I do. Also, we can do something special with our team and make it something interesting. So perhaps we'll do that with this walkthrough. I'll keep my Duat in its samurai shing, sword slashing stance. And my Girder will never evolve because it's on the emulator. And the next Pokemon that we plan to catch ahead, it won't be evolving either. Ooh, there's a hint. Alright, that pesky P-Dove is out of our way. You know, speaking of P-Doves, recently I actually got myself some bird feeders. And wow, what a difference. What a different biome I've created around my home. If you don't know what a biome is, wow, you should have really taken some science in high school. Anyway, a biome is just an environmental area. And I've attracted so many different types of songbirds, birds I never knew existed before. And it's just wonderful to step out in the morning and really at any time in the day, because now they're starting to invite their friends and it's a chain reaction. They're all starting to come to the bird feeders. It's the spot to be. So every time I walk outside of my house, it's just a chorus of wonderful songbirds. It's really excellent. I'll have to record a Pokewalker hike video out there. Won't be much of a hike, but just to sit in the backyard listening to the songbirds. Yep, I think I'm an outdoorsman and an animal lover first, and that probably led me to Pokemon being my favorite video game overall, because it's essentially delving deeper into creatures in a way that you just can't do with natural life, and you wouldn't want to do. I really wouldn't want to fight nature against nature. I'm not a Michael Vick sort of guy in any way, but it's fun to have these stats and mechanics to work with, all the while learning about these new creatures, these fictional characters, that inevitably leads to new friendships if you're social about it. Yep, with the internet, I've met so many cool people, and especially through doing these Let's Plays, that's one of the best parts, are the people. And if you want to join in the conversation and get more active, I suggest you go to Twitter and follow me at DeoGenZ. And I'm active there quite a bit. I tell you guys new videos coming, ideas I have, and you could probably influence some things I do just by showing me some interesting articles. I had one person on there, Chime96, a very active commenter on my videos, post an article about blind people playing video games, because I had mentioned in an earlier video, what would you do, I think it was a Pokemon Rumble video, what would you do if you lost one of your senses, and it was one of your vital ones that forced you to stop playing video games the way that you normally played them. So maybe you had your arm lopped off in a tragic minecart accident. Who knows? Happens in Minecraft all the time. You get those minecarts next to each other parallel. Whew, you better not have your limbs out. So something like that. But this person, in the article, he was blind, and he could play a 3D game, Ocarina of Time, which is immense just by hearing the sound of footsteps and the creatures in the game, the enemies, how far they were from Link. He could tell relatively where the 3D space was and paint a picture in his mind, the game. It's such a crazy thing what the body can do, what the mind can accomplish when one finds great interest in something. You'll pretty much go to any lengths. I knew that was true for me with Pokemon. I know it's funny I can bring everything back to Pokemon, but hey, this is a Pokemon walkthrough, so why not keep it on topic? But back in the day, I wasn't even allowed to play Pokemon because there was such mass hysteria and kids getting beat up over trading cards, which was absolute insanity. Just crazy pre-evolutionary monkey shit. Give me that, it's mine! So, I didn't take part in that at the time of Pokemon, but after the hype died down, that's when I really investigated it, and I think it was around the second generation in the Johto series. That's really when I got into it, and you'll go through any lengths to enjoy what you want to enjoy. Yep, whether it's haggling cards with your classmates or playing as a blind person in 3D realms using your ears. You can pretty much do anything when you set your mind to it. So, in this desert, you can find some pretty interesting Pokemon, and Pokemon that are very important, not if you want to catch them, but if you're looking to train in attack. Now, you might not know what I mean when I say train in attack, and what I refer to are EVs, effort values. And effort values is an invisible number in the game. It's an invisible mechanic, but plays a vital role in the structure of Pokemon. And it can determine whether your Pokemon's more offensive or defensive, faster, slower, or has greater hit points. All this is determined through natures, IVs, which are individual values, but when you're playing through the main game, like a walkthrough, which I'm doing here, you don't need to get too crazy about it. It's more the metagame where you want to focus on the invisible values. But for effort values, they still do play a role in the main game if you want to have an accelerated time and not get stuck and not want to level spam. So if you want to train an attack, you can find yourself Sandile, Darumaka, and Scraggy on this route, all around level 18 to 15. And they will all give you, I believe, 1 EV point in attack. So if you just keep attacking those Pokemon, don't worry too much about the experience points, because after a certain point, once you surpass their level greatly, it won't matter how many times you beat them. You won't get many experience points. But you're going for EVs there. And then when you do get experience in trainer battles, you'll notice that your attack stat gets considerable upgrades upon gaining a level. So it's something to watch out for if you've never EV trained. And I know there's a lot of new Pokemon players with Black and White, because it's pretty much a sequel to the original Red and Blue. Or Red and Green, I suppose it was. So Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. This is the true sequel. All new 150 Pokemon, no past generations. It's a good place for anybody to start, and it really is a true sequel that it completely honors the original. That's also, in case you were wondering and paying attention to the route titles, why all the routes have started back at 1 and are going starting from there. So we're on Route 4 right now. And speaking of routes, I heard some interesting theories about what this route, Route 4, could be in a future generations game. Whether it's on the 3DS or another DS iteration of Pokemon Gray, it's kind of hard to say where they'll go. I'm not sure how DS and 3DS is comparing in sales, but I don't think many people are buying DS, and not many people bought 3DS because they're all holding back until Ocarina of Time 3D comes out. Hopefully you get yours before then, otherwise there will be quite the shortage. But I hear that some people believe this will be all built in the next game, and maybe you'll be able to visit the Unova region in the 6th gen. Maybe they'll just move on to that on the 3DS, or they will have a true 3rd iteration. But that would be crazy if they had some progress and they showed in the next game this place was all built up. Because even though it's a barren desert now, it's also the place for construction. It's just barren because there are no trees there. And we'll end the episode with Darumaka, the Zen Charm Pokemon. When its internal fire is burning, it cannot calm down and it runs around. When the fire diminishes, it falls asleep. See you next time, guys, on my Pokemon Black walkthrough.